Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the directions for your independent work this week. Essentially, there are 4 different steps, and I'm going to walk you through each of them so that you know exactly what you need to do. So, first, here it says we have a Flipgrid question. If you click this link here, it will bring you right to our Flipgrid page, which looks like this. So, this is essentially our warm up question, but we've moved it to our independent work because of just the way we're got to restructure our class time to make enough time for refugee. So this week, our question is, what is your favorite donut flavor? So here's the image you'd look at. You're going to record a response. I'm answering the question. And then you're going to watch the other responses that are recorded, and you're going to pick at least one to respond to. And there are some sentence starters there that might help you. You might say, I agree with you because, or I disagree with you because, or maybe you push somebody to explain why they picked, a certain donut flavor that they did. So this is step 1. So first, record a Flipgrid, answering the question, watch the other Flipgrids, and then respond to at least one using the prompts there on the screen to help you. So that's step 1. Let's go back to our next step. So the next, you want to make sure that you have finished and turned in your work for refugee in chapters 1 through 3. So that's going to mean you're going to come back here into Google Classroom under Language Arts. We're in the classwork Google Classroom here, and we're going to come here to where it says refugee reading chapters 1 through 3. And you want to make sure that you have completed all of the work in these slides and you've hit the turn in button so that you can get your credit for that. Okay, so once you've done those first 2 steps, then we're going to move on to step 3, which says book club discussions Edpuzzle. So attached to this assignment are 2 Edpuzzles. The first one looks like this, and you'll watch this Edpuzzle, and it will talk to you about what things that you should do during a book club discussion and things that you shouldn't do. Because as we continue to read Refugee, we're going to work on having some discussions with other people. We want to make sure that we are making those discussions as successful and helpful as possible. So here you have a Jamboard, and you'll add ideas of what first tips of what will make a successful book club. And so you'll listen to watch the Edpuzzle, which will show you, it'll talk to you about some tips of things that we should be doing. And you're going to add these here, almost like as a resource that we can come back to and reference. And then you're going to pick one. What is one tip that you think is most important in a book club, and explain why? So you'll add a little sticky note with your answers and put them to each of the squares for all of your tips. And then you'll add one here to explain. What you'll also do in that same video is what not to do. So you'll listen, and they'll give you some things that are distracting and not helpful during a book club discussion. You'll add some sticky notes to each of these boxes here, and you will then pick the one that you think is most important for people to remember and add that here. Okay, so that's the book club discussions Edpuzzle. So last on our list here, it says accountable talk Edpuzzle. So there's a second Edpuzzle here, and this is focusing on accountable talk. So one of the things that can be trickiest with book clubs is how to keep the conversation going, what to say, so that it's not just everyone reading off their paper. So what we do to help encourage conversation is what's called accountable talk. So this video will talk to you a little bit about what that means and give you some sentence starters of what you can say when you're in a book club discussion so that you can be engaged in the conversation and participate and keep it going. So you'll watch this video and you'll come back to your Jamboard and you'll go to slide 3 and you'll add first, what is one reason why accountable talk is important? Why are we watching this? Why is it going to be helpful to us in our book club discussions? And you'll put your answer here. And then you'll pick one sentence stem from each of these categories and you'll add it under here. Something that you might actually use so that you can use this as a resource. So if you agree with somebody, what's something that you could say? A sentence stem, a sentence starter. If someone says something you disagree, what might be something that you could say? If someone says something and you're not really sure what it means and you need them to clarify or explain what they mean, what's a sentence stem that you might use? And if you can connect, if you can relate to what someone else is saying, what is something that you might say? Now, the video will give you these sentence stems. All we're asking you to do is to pick one and copy it and paste it and put it on a sticky note and put it here. Okay, so let's review. First, your let's talk about it flip grid question. Next, finish and turn in Refugee, chapters 1 through 3. Then the book club discussions Edpuzzle. Last, the accountable talk Edpuzzle. So you're going to want to make sure that at the end, you've turned in your Jamboard and your Refugee work and you've responded, you've done the flip grid questions. Okay, if as you're working, you have any questions on any of these materials, please let me know. You can also watch this video back as many times as you need to. Good luck.